Do you see him? Close the door right on me.
Of course.
All right. Everybody all settled in? Very good. Well, good morning, everybody. Today I'm pleased to be joined by City Council Member Kent Lee, who is the chair of the City Council's Budget and Government Efficiency Committee, as well as the representative for District 6. Also joined this morning by Dr. Jennifer Campbell from District 2, Stephen Whitburn from District 3, Marnie Von Wilpert from District 5, and Raul Campillo representing District 7. You also see a large number of our executive team behind me, our Chief Financial Officer, Matt Vespi, and Deputy Chief Operating Officers, Christina Peralta, Chris McFadden, Casey Smith. Our Chiefs of Police and Fire are both here. And did I miss anybody besides Rolando? I'm getting to you, Rolando. We also have our finance team lead, who is Rolando Chaval, who between himself and Matt do a lot of the heavy lifting. Gentlemen, thank you for being here today. So, passing an annual budget is among the most important tasks we as a city do every single year. And it's often said that budgets are a statement of values and represent our collective priorities. It's what allows us to fill potholes, to collect trash, to maintain our parks, operate our libraries and rec centers, deploy our first responders who keep us safe, and perform all the other tasks that our residents expect and deserve. Certainly, this budget represents our shared commitment to preserving the strides that we have made and ensuring that our city continues to move forward. I'm very proud that this was my fourth successful budget as your mayor. The first three were relatively smooth affairs, due in large part to federal pandemic aid fueling many of our needs during the pandemic. This budget was far more challenging. This year we faced a $172 million budget deficit, and that meant that we had to tighten our belt and make some very difficult choices. From the start of this process, I've been clear in my commitment to San Diegans that we would navigate our way through this process while protecting the progress that we have made on our city's top challenges. Protecting our progress on addressing homelessness, building more housing, keeping our neighborhoods safe, repairing critical infrastructure like our stormwater systems, and of course, fixing our roads. And that we would do this without resorting to the types of draconian measures that have been used in the past when times were equally as tough. Things like browning out fire stations, shuttering recreation centers, and reducing library hours. Working together, we have met all of those marks. All city departments employed cost-saving measures without reducing service levels. The City Council, supported by the independent budget analyst and his team, recommended modifications that reflected the City Council's priorities. We've heard from residents about their needs and what they'd like to see in this budget, and I thank every member of our city who participated in this process. And as a result, I'm very proud that we were able to pass this budget with the unanimous vote of our City Council. I'll tell you, this is the fourth time this administration has secured a unanimous vote of the City Council on the budget, and I want to thank our council members for that vote of confidence. Together, we have produced a budget that protects the progress that we have made on issues that San Diegans care the most about. It maintains high service levels for our residents and continues to advance equity in our historically underserved communities. It is balanced, it's on-timed, and it's fiscally responsible. I want to thank my partners in this effort. First off, the City Council led in this effort by its budget chairman, Kent Lee, who revamped this year's budget process to maximize transparency and increase public engagement. The independent budget analyst, Charles Modica, and his team of experts who did the intricate work of helping the council refine the budget proposal. Our City Attorney, Mara Elliott, and her team. Our Department of Finance, whose team works overnight all the time, right? A lot? A whole lot, yeah. I'm glad you guys are good with numbers. Our finance team, whose team members reworked the numbers with sophistication and diligence as requests for updated information came in through this months-long process. This is really difficult stuff, and we have amongst the best in the country, in my opinion, in our Department of Finance. And of course, all of our departments, led by our incredible executive team. And last but not least, my policy director, Matt Yagin, who has been my point person on this issue, has worked day and night to shepherd this process, this budget through the process, and I think has achieved a successful outcome. Now, without exception, this group of people who care deeply about the people of San Diego are passionate public servants. Your input, support, and collaboration have been greatly appreciated in shaping this budget and ensuring that we're meeting the needs and the aspirations of our constituents. This budget truly represents our shared vision, our hard work, and our unwavering dedication to making our city the best it can possibly be. Now, before I sign this budget into law, I'd like to ask our budget chairman, Councilmember Kent Lee, to have some words. Councilmember?
Thank you, Mayor Gloria. As chair of the Budget and Government Efficiency Committee, this is an exciting day. Today concludes a 3-month process during which the City Council thoroughly vetted and analyzed the fiscal year 2025 budget proposal. This year, we introduced a new budget review process to increase transparency and to make it easier for the public to participate. Hearings were arranged so that City Council members could ask more questions of city departments, and additional meetings were scheduled, including in evening hours so more San Diegans could participate. And important budget deliberations were highlighted so the public would be aware when key decisions would be made. I want to thank the public for letting us hear your voices. Your advocacy made this budget better. I also want to take this opportunity to also thank our Department of Finance, our Chief Financial Officer, Matt Vespi, Matt Yagin, who we worked with in the Mayor's office, and also our independent budget analyst office for their tireless work in providing us the analysis necessary for us to understand this budget. Thanks to the Mayor and his office for their partnership in ensuring that we got this budget passed on time. San Diegans rely on many of the programs and services in this budget, and despite the difficult financial headwinds, the City Council came together to protect these programs. And today, the Mayor will ensure their preservation by quickly signing this document into law. I want to thank my City Council colleagues and Mayor Gloria for adopting a final budget that prioritizes housing affordability, increasing resources to address homelessness and the need for shelter, expediting road repairs, and supporting public safety, while also addressing numerous community investments that the public has fought for. This includes direct support for flood victims to ensure that families who lost their homes in the January flood will be connected to permanent housing. The final budget also included more dollars for library programs and vital materials, park enhancements in communities that lack access to quality green space, and support for at-risk youth by implementing a pilot youth development drop-in program. There is so much more our communities need, and I will continue to work towards a strong financial footing our city requires so that we can make the neighborhood investments that San Diegans deserve. Thank you. And next up, let me introduce our council colleague, Councilmember Monty Van Wilpert, who's been a champion not just for her district, but for public safety.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mayor Gloria, and thank you to Kent Lee, our budget chair, who did an excellent job shepherding us through the budget process this year. I am very proud, as the chair of public safety, to say that this is a public safety budget. Despite the headwinds we faced and the deficit we faced, we made sure to invest in our public safety all throughout our city. I am proud that we gave our police officers, our firefighters, and our lifeguards the modest pay increases that they need to stay in our city. We barely gave them the cost of living index increase, but we want to make sure we stop that revolving door of losing officers, losing firefighters, because other government agencies are willing to make the investment in their personnel that our city historically had not been. I'm proud to say we are hiring back officers from lateral organizations. We are hiring back firefighters. And as we open with our summer season and thousands of tourists are about to come to our beaches, we are investing in our lifeguards to make sure that tourists know this is a safe place to come swim and play every summer. We are also equipping our first responders with the most up-to-date cutting-edge technology to enable them to keep our communities safe. We have deployed smart street lights and automated license plate readers, which are helping to make sure we solve crimes quickly and reduce unnecessary police contacts in the field. We have restored funding for our juvenile services team and our front counter police so that no matter what, if you walk into a police station, you will have a trained and sworn officer there to greet you and take a police report. We've increased funding for our No Shots Fired program, a critical gun violence prevention program in our city, as well as making sure that our city attorney's office has the full funding they need for gun violence restraining orders to get weapons out of the hands of dangerous individuals. So far, our city attorney has removed over 3,500 firearms through court orders from a judge that shows people could not safely handle them in that moment. We're also increasing the ability for our fire and EMS department to reach every corner of our city by including the San Pasqual Fast Response Squad with our fire department leadership under Chief Colin Stoll. We have realigned our entire emergency EMS system to make sure that an ambulance will show up on time every time there's an advanced life support call. We've also invested in another wildfire helicopter. We know that wildfire season is year-round now here in the city of San Diego, and so we've invested in a second Bell 412 XP helicopter to make sure that we have the aerial fleet we need to tackle wildfires before they become major disasters. We're opening new fire stations. We're investing in fire stations that's in Black Mountain Ranch. The new Torrey Pines fire station has been online recently, and we are investing in the infrastructure our lifeguards need on the beach to keep us safe. So I want to thank my council colleagues and the mayor for making sure that we prioritize public safety in our communities here in San Diego, and that this budget will make sure we stay the safest, largest city in America. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague from District 7, Raul Campillo.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Von Wilpert. Good morning, everyone. There's no question that every decision the city makes stems from what Mayor Gloria is about to sign right there. A fair and equitable and balanced budget that every person in San Diego expects and they are about to get. Despite the very difficult challenges with a $172 million deficit this year, together we have provided the balanced budget that continues to prioritize those key neighborhood infrastructure projects and critical city services, and a lot more too. This achievement is a testament to our collective dedication to responsible budgeting and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of our community. Now, crafting a budget like Mayor Gloria did takes leadership, because the task of investing in key priorities with such a steep hill to climb is never simple, and it's never easy. And luckily, by the end, with some excellent decision-making based on our Department of Finance, finding key revenues that were coming in over the last 2 months, we were able to identify that revenue that met those additional needs, to the point at which those who were skeptical at the April draft were advocating for its passage before any further amendments on Monday. Through careful planning and strategic prioritization and collaborative efforts, we have crafted with Mayor Gloria the budget that addresses the needs of every San Diegan, and I want to take this moment to thank our city staff who participated in the process. In fact, they were the process, because Mayor Gloria, many, many months ago, when we saw the steep hill to climb, asked all our city employees to find where they can nip and tuck and find those extra pennies to make sure we could balance this budget and do it in a fair way. Department leaders, program managers, interns, everybody from top to bottom was doing that job, because Mayor Gloria set the standard and they delivered as well. Of course, we had the independent budget analyst, Charles Modica, and his whole team that worked closely with the city council and those departments to ensure that we had the information and the independent analysis so we could make those decisions as we approved this budget. Now, like I mentioned previously, despite challenging times, we're able to allocate those resources. We fully fund public safety services. We invest in critical neighborhood infrastructure, streets, sidewalks, streetlight repair, and stormwater. The things that members of the public want to see, we are doubling down on those priorities, just like we did in fiscal 22, just like we did in fiscal 23, just like we did in fiscal 24. Fiscal 25 meets those priorities and then some. Now, quite frankly, we know more revenue is needed. We have a backlog of deferred maintenance that this mayor and council have inherited from previous management. We owe it to our constituents to tell them the truth and explain the facts. And if we want to continue the progress we've made, if we want to continue these investments we are making today, we must generate that additional revenue. I'm so glad that Mayor Gloria is a partner in lockstep to make sure we can get that revenue. As you all know, we have a potential revenue source with a 1% sales tax increase, $400 million more dollars. Next year, we will not be facing the difficult decisions if we get that done, so that we can tackle street repair and sidewalk repair and invest in structures like libraries and parks, and equally important, funding public safety. In closing, I want to thank the residents of San Diego, those who came into City Hall and those who called in and those who emailed, those who saw us in things like the Tierra Santa Patriots Day Parade, where I was walking side by side with Mayor Gloria and they were shouting from the sidewalk, "Hey, we need this done." And those are the types of things that the mayor and I absolutely emphasized in our priorities, and every single council member did as well. So as we move forward, let's continue to work together, face our challenges head on, continue the progress that we've started over the last 3 years. San Diego is in great hands with Mayor Gloria and this city council, and I'm excited to see this budget passed. Mayor Gloria.
Thank you, Councilmember. I want to underscore what Councilmember Campillo was just saying about our city's future. I spend my days not thinking about how we can maintain the status quo in San Diego, but instead about how we can create the city that we want to have for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren, for today and for decades to come. We have to have the courage to face up to the reality of our aging infrastructure, the decades of neglect of our roads, and what we need to invest in order to get San Diego into the state that our residents expect it to be. I think for too long we have settled because too many people have been afraid to tell the truth and give voice to the reality that we all see every single day. It has only delayed our investments and made us fall further and further behind at greater and greater expense to taxpayers. I believe that San Diegans are ready for even more progress, faster progress on the issues that matter the most in our neighborhoods. And that starts here today. By protecting our progress, we are not only building a stronger and more resilient and more inclusive city, but we're laying the groundwork for future growth and prosperity for ourselves, for our children, and for our grandchildren. So before I sign this budget into law, let's move forward with determination and with unity, protecting the progress that we have made, striving for even greater achievements in the years to come. So the bottom line is this: the budget is balanced, it is responsible, it is on time, and it's unanimous. This is a good day for San Diego. I'm happy to sign the budget now.